Let me see the buttons. Oh, I love the buttons. Wow.
Perfect.
Imagine finishing a craft project. Couldn't be me. Welcome to MotoMouths, the podcast for MotoGP, Motorsports, and more. I'm your host, Zoe, and I hope to one day have the optimism that MotoGP has.
What do you mean by that?
I think they're very optimistic about some geopolitical affairs resolving.
And I agree with you, and we'll talk about that. Don't worry.
But I would like to be that optimistic.
I'm your other host, also named Zoe, and I think maybe optimism is a curse.
They're a real glass half full kind of
company.
Arm half pumped.
Arm half unpumped, I think, is the more optimistic.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Viewpoint of that one.
Get Casey Stoner on the phone. He'll know.
No, did you see what Valentino Rossi said about arm pump?
No, what did he say about arm pump?
Okay, so famously, there's like a kind of, I don't know if it's like a true rumor or like a joke or whatever, but famously, the VR46 guys never have arm pump issues. And I think Luca Marini at one point implied that it's like a secret or like there's a trick that Valentino taught them. MotoGP released like footage of the Champions Dinner from last year.
Yes.
And in that footage, Valentino basically says, oh yeah, it's just a genetic thing. Like
Italians?
It's just a genetic thing. No, because someone was asking him like, why did you never? And he was like, oh, I just am genetically predisposed to not have problems with it.
Okay.
Yeah, like a liar. I just love like the image of him sitting there pre-dinner being like, someone's going to ask me about this.
Let me think up my lie.
How am I going to lie?
Oh my God. He's so
fucking funny.
He's too much. He's doing too much, I gotta say.
I mean, that's kind of his brand. He's neon yellow.
He's doing too much all the time. So what's on the docket? What do we got to talk about? Shall we start with the optimism of MotoGP and Dorna?
Well, yeah. So let's start with a couple admin things. Then we'll get to Brazil race predictions towards the end of our MotoGP conversation. Mm-hmm. So as you mentioned, from like a optimistic perspective, Dorna and Liberty and now like the whole like what is it? Sport MotoGP Entertainment Group, which by the way,
MotoGP SEG.
People are calling SMEG as I assume as a joke or like a confusion of the letters.
Oh my God.
But I do actually think it's really funny.
I think so too.
I also think if this gets too serious, this SMEG company might wander in and be like, hey guys, we can do a partnership or you can stop this.
Yeah.
So basically what's going on is that instead of canceling Qatar,
as F1 has,
right, SMEG has decided instead they will reschedule it towards the end of the season.
Which I think is optimistic.
One, I think is incredibly optimistic. I think when you look at like US politics, what the administration is telling us is that they'll be there until at least September. Do I trust this administration? Absolutely not. Does that mean they're going to be there longer? Probably.
I don't know if for our international listeners out there, but in 2003, George Bush went on a naval airship carrier with a giant banner that said mission accomplished in Iraq. And what mission was accomplished? There wasn't one. The mission was not accomplished. We were there for another 20 years.
We kind of never left.
Which
is a problem for us.
We like to do that.
We like to do that. So we've learned nothing. SMEG is being way too positive. Also, I think there's kind of like, I don't know if allegation is the right word, but the assumption is that like money is involved.
Oh, of course.
So like rescheduling instead of canceling means that they get to keep that
the
investment
money and not have to like refund everyone.
Exactly. However, what's going to happen is that they have moved the Qatar Grand Prix to the beginning of November, which means there's a major calendar shuffle. So Qatar is now the third race in a triple header with Australia and Malaysia. The Portuguese Grand Prix has been moved back, so moved a week back to November 22nd. And the Valencia finale is now November 29th. This is the latest the season has ever run. The other problem is that not only are we having just like a series of shuffles, this trickles down to fans. Like, this is not just if you had tickets to the Qatar Grand Prix, they're valid, but they're valid 7 months later. This is Grand Prix ticket holders for minimum 3 race weekends are just kind of fucked. This also includes travel tickets, hotel reservations, car bookings. This includes a lot of other shit. So people are mad.
Yeah, I would imagine so. It's a cost-benefit analysis of the pissing people off of your core fan base or losing money.
And not just core fan base, people who are paying to be there. Like, that is a critical clarification, because the core fan base includes people who watch, but these are people who are coming and spending money.
Also, not only are you pissing everybody off now, you're still going to have to cancel it.
Yes. And I think if it was one of those decisions where you could put it off and put it off and put it off, and it wouldn't be like that big of a deal, sure, whatever. But it's not that. You're going to have to cancel it. I'm putting my money on it now.
And even if it's like miraculously resolved, I'm not going to be miraculously resolved.
How many people are going to be that comfortable flying into Qatar?
How many airlines are going to be flying into Qatar?
Serious
Qatar.
Question. Serious question.
It's just going to be Qatar.
Yeah.
And maybe Emirates.
I mean, I don't know about Emirates even. So all of that to say, weird series of decisions happening from SMEG.
We sound like NPR talking about this.
Sorry, like, back to our non-political programming now, I guess.
This has been All Things Considered. I'm Ira Glass.
So yeah, we'll see. There's also rumors too of like Aragon and Portimao being on the chopping block next. So this could be the last time we go to these places for a very long time. And recently, Carmelo Espeleta, who's part of the Espeleta family, who has run Dorna and is now part of the leadership at SMEG. I'm just sorry, like, that's who they are to me now. That's not my fault.
But the thing is that what would have been more apt and like easier to go for, I guess, is Sega. But then you could just put them together and make Smegma.
And I won't be responding to that. Just not gonna.
Okay, so Smegma.
Shut up. SMEG. Anyways, Carmelo Espeleta has made some comments because obviously everything after Phillip Island getting removed from the calendar, now there are rumors about Aragon and Portimao. He basically confirmed that moving forward, they are trying to move racing in general towards cities. At this time, don't disagree with what he said.
Right.
Because his larger point is that they need to move MotoGP racing closer to cities so it's more accessible and it's less of a heavy lift for fans who are newer to get there.
I will say this, if we're thinking about this in terms of F1, one of the main limitations I have with like going to COTA is that it's kind of difficult to get to.
The great news about COTA and F1 is that they do like a tram situation.
They do a tram situation, but the thing about Montreal is that there's incredible public transit directly to and from the track because it's directly next to the city.
Right. I think that's where
they're trying to go.
Per his comments, they're trying to go.
However,
yeah,
the subsection A, bullet point B, seems like they really want to get going towards street tracks.
Which is a main concern.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, there's not much else to say other than, hey, don't fucking do that.
Don't do that.
But I think, like, it's interesting because obviously COTA's coming up. Your girl will be attending. I think COTA, when it comes to MotoGP, it's funny because I think COTA is one of the worst offenders in F1, but COTA is one of the best examples in MotoGP.
Right.
Which is just hilarious to me. Maybe Silverstone is one of the worst. I will say, like, if we can find tracks that are good racing, if we can find tracks and we can make them safe, that are all close to or more accessible to big cities, ultimately, I think that is a net benefit for the sport.
Road Atlanta. Let's go racing at Road Atlanta.
Let's all go back to Indy.
Let's all go back to Indy. Did MotoGP ever race at Indy?
Yes.
God, why aren't we at Indy?
Like, I know Indiana's not sexy for a variety of reasons.
But Indy is sexy.
Exactly.
Road Atlanta's already set up for moto racing.
So yeah, Smeg, listen, Road Atlanta, great option for you. Okay, speaking of Indy, actually, I wanted to talk about Kayla Yaakov.
Okay.
Have you heard about this?
No.
Okay, so Kayla is the first woman to finish on the podium of the Daytona 200 motorcycle race. And she rode for a Ducati team.
Good for her.
She rode a Ducati for the Rahal Ducati moto team owned by 3-time IndyCar race winner Graham Rahal.
Yeah, I would have guessed. Moto America. You know where that race is. Road Atlanta. Get their asses, girl.
The team principal of this team is Ben Spies, who's a MotoGP race winner. And he's had a relationship with her dad and her for a couple of years now. Like, he's watched her kind of progress. When he and Graham Rahal talked about starting a team, Kayla is the first person he thought of and the first person he wanted on the team.
That's queen.
He says about her, she has the killer mindset you can't teach, which makes things easy from a mentor standpoint. I'm just so proud of her.
At the age of 9, Kayla became the youngest American to race full-size road racing motorcycles and win against adults, setting a record previously held by legendary Nikki Hayden at age 10. Oh my God. She's also racing in Europe.
I mean, good. She should be racing everywhere.
We're going to follow her now.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about her for a little bit because
Good
I
for
think that's
her.
really fucking cool.
Yeah. It's so beautiful to see women doing incredible shit during the month of women.
I love women.
I just think that women. Okay. What else?
I have one thing we want to talk about for contract commentary.
It's contract time.
Apparently, it's all being held up by Mark.
This is the least surprising thing you could have ever told me in your entire life.
Truly zero surprise, zero shock. Totally predictable. Could have seen this coming 800 miles away, and in fact, we did. He has still yet to sign his Ducati contract. Apparently, they're still beefing on the 2-year, 1-year issue.
Oh my God. Diva.
Get your bag and your 1-year contract. I love it. Just do whatever you gotta do, babe.
Like that he's the domino.
Of course. He's the hottest girl in the club.
Oh my God.
He's the hottest girl in the club, and every other team structure is a series of dominoes. You know, the butterfly effect? Mark is the butterfly.
Yes. That is flopping his beautiful wings.
Right. And then across the world, a hurricane happens where Jorge Martin leaves Aprilia.
Just to think, last week we were asking ourselves who appointed Alex Marquez Speaker of the House.
Mark.
It was Mark.
It was Mark. Speaking of the House, actually, this is not about contracts, but I think today Mark and Alex both posted SpawnCon from Estela Galicia, their non-alcoholic beer sponsor, in which they got an egg pod shaped beer dispenser that could sit on their I'm talking dispenser sits on their countertop.
Okay, so they've got a tap.
Right. And it's egg shaped, which isn't important to the story, but I find hysterical. But Alex has moved out of the house, but both of their SpawnCon is in Mark's house. I just think it's funny. It's you gotta walk your little butt down 5 to 10 minutes down the road to your brother's house next door.
Yeah, this is giving
to go
real...
do SpawnCon for Estela Galicia.
This is giving real Sidney Crosby, Mario Lemieux vibes.
Yes.
For those who don't know, Sidney Crosby lived with Mario Lemieux from the time he started with the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2006.
And legend says he's still there.
The record says he moved out in 2010, 4 years later, but most sources say that probably is closer to 2012.
Well, because he spent years building a house behind their house.
And then he moved across the street.
Years.
He moved across the street.
Sidney Crosby, man of my heart, forever and ever. I'll never let you go.
King.
Okay, last but not least, we need to do predictions for Brazil.
Brasilia. Can I just say in honor of Forever Wars, can I quote my favorite Bushism of all time?
Yes. I'm scared.
They said to him, 4 Brazilians died. And he said, how many is a Brazilian?
That's horrifying.
I know.
Horrifying. And unfortunately, I regret to share that were I a little dumber, I would be yeah, I want to go have a beer with him.
I want to have a beer with him.
I mean, yeah, but not
you can't
politically.
Say that.
You can't say that.
I want to have a beer with him in the way that Michelle Obama has beers with him, where it's volunteering.
No, it's volunteerism. She's hanging out with the elderly.
It's her beta club hours.
Yes.
National Honor Society.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know shit about this track.
Brazil?
I think it's the Guyana track. I don't know anything about it.
Okay, let's look.
Okay, circuit specs. It is 2.4 miles long, 9 right corners, 5 left corners. So for me, I'm looking at that and I say, this is not going to be an awesome track for Mark. But that's fine. He just has to make it through the season. We haven't been here in 33 years.
33 years at Autodromo International Art and Senna.
Yes. Which will be really fun because Senna Aegis will be racing there.
Wait, I love that.
Yeah. Senna
Little
on
guy.
Senna.
Okay.
We need to make predictions then.
We need to make our predictions.
Which will mean absolutely nothing because we have nothing to base this off of.
I like how you think that our predictions ever mean anything.
Okay, don't say our, your. I clearly commune with the universe every week.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We will get to that. Okay, I'm going to go for a Alex Marquez P1.
Okay.
Marc Marquez P2. Frankie Morbidelli P3.
Yes, hometown.
Hometown boost. Oh, Phil King, Diogo Moreira.
Okay. I'm going to go with a Marco Bezzecchi P1, Jorge Martin P2, and I'm going to be crazy. Pedro Acosta P3.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go with Frankie Fail King because I do feel like hometowns will either be really, really great or
really bad.
Really, really bad. My second choice for Fail King actually is going to be Fermin Aldeguer, who supposedly will be back, but nothing is confirmed. So he could fail by flying all the way down to Brazil, being not confirmed fit, confirmed unfit, and then just have to sit there. And I think that would be hilarious.
But better than you getting on the bike and destroying all the bones in your body a la Jorge Martin.
Right.
Okay, well, I guess that brings us to the Great Wide World of Motorsport.
It does. We were in China this week.
We were in Shanghai. Even before the weekend started, I don't know if you saw this, but Franco Colapinto got lost in Shanghai.
What was going on with everyone's 3 days before the weekend started? I think everybody was going on different side quests.
Franco Colapinto got lost in Shanghai and started live posting to his Instagram story of him asking Chinese grandfathers in the park for directions.
Totally.
They don't speak the same language.
No.
Franco Colapinto had a weekend. Had a week.
He's had some days.
He's had several. Yeah. This weekend, I just want to say, going back to everything we talked about last week, I needed a race to see it settle in. I'm now fully on your side.
On my side?
Yeah.
Of?
The regulations are very bad and it's fake overtaking.
Oh God, this is so great. I don't know if I could have done a full season with us at odds like this. Thank God. Oh my God.
I saw someone call it the Cocomellification of F1. And
well, you know what Jolyon Palmer called it?
What did Jolyon Palmer call it?
On commentary. This is commentary during the race.
Mm-hmm. On Apple TV.
On Apple TV, F1 TV, sponsored by Ford.
Built Ford Tough.
Jolyon called it, quote, energy yo-yo racing. And I said, brother, you can't say that like it's a good thing, which is how he said it. It's crazy because the entire broadcast of the race, every 2 minutes, Julian, Alex, and DC were just trading back and forth Kool-Aid comments. I was like, this round robin has to stop. They're like, we're breathless from all of the activity. And I was like, I hate you guys so bad.
They had one index card of talking points and they just passed it around.
Yes.
They didn't even get 3 copies. They just had
Talk
one
about
card.
A circle jerk.
Truly. So, okay. Well, shall we start with our predictions?
Yes.
I said Lewis P1, no. George P2, yes. Max P3, no. Fail King, Ollie Behrman, reverse curse. You said George P1, no. Charles P2, no. Lewis
okay, but
P3.
I will say George P1 thematically correct.
No.
There was a Mercedes in P1 and George started in second. I think there was a lot I had going there.
Take your Lewis P3.
And then what?
And then you said, and I quote, last week you said, Fail King, Kimi Antonelli. And I said, sad. And then you said, watch, he'll probably win now.
And what did he do?
Your relationship with the universe scares me.
It scares me.
What are you doing?
We need to, at the end of this season, actually go through it all and count
the number of reverse curses.
Yes.
It's scary.
Yeah. My power.
Your power.
My power.
So Kimi Antonelli did win his first F1 Grand Prix.
I thought it was hysterical. Similar to their circle jerk of Kool-Aid comments. This entire weekend, if they were talking about Kimi, I don't think they went more than 30 seconds without like ageist comments.
Yeah.
Like, obviously in a very lovely, supportive way, but it was like, hey, so I've been here the whole time. This race has been 3 hours long. I understand that he's a teenager. You don't have to keep reminding me.
I know he's 19.
I'm aware. I think too at maybe it was Alex Jakes that I was listening to his kind of like spiel for Kimi and I was like, I'm not really feeling that much, which is not an indictment of Kimi. He's new here. I don't know him.
He's new in town.
But one of the things he called Kimi, and this one I do kind of have a beef with, he called Kimi a history boy.
I did see this. Yeah.
Which, like, other than being the name of an incredible play and subsequent movie adaptation,
Yeah.
not communicative of who Kimi is in this moment at all.
Or anything, actually.
Right. Because he didn't break a record with this win.
No, he's the youngest Grand Prix pole sitter, but that's not really
He did that already. That didn't happen at the end of the race.
right. History boy.
The history boy came in second, even in the history.
Okay, so it's like that's his sidekick name.
No, I know. What are the ones in SpongeBob?
Invisible Man and Barnacle Boy.
Yeah, it's like Invincible Max and History Boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Oh my
Jinkies.
God. Before we get to the race, I wanted to talk about my favorite moment of the entire weekend, and actually I wanted to play it. This was during Q1, at the end of Q1.
Okay. Oh, Alex.
That was Alex Albon on getting knocked out in Q1.
I have to ask, what changed your mind on the regulations?
I think watching it and not seeing anything different.
Then Melbourne?
Once as an instance, but twice as a hobby.
Yeah.
I think that I was a little bit baby looking at shiny colors and fast movement last week.
And listen, Melbourne is exciting. It's the first race back of the season.
Exactly.
We are all Coco Meloning it up.
Exactly. And then seeing it this time where I was like, I got one race down. I'm watching this in the light of day.
I'm back in business.
I'm back in business. I'm like focused. I'm like, okay, it is just Coco Melon. Flashbang, cheap trick, and a cheesy one-liner.
Charles said something about qualifying this weekend that's really stuck with me too, which is that they're even having to do like the battery recharge slowdown during qualifying. That's not the point.
The point.
And I'm paraphrasing, but he kind of was saying that you can't do what he calls like crazy laps in qualifying anymore because the way the battery and the engine work together, you just can't go balls to the wall with it, which then means, and this is where the paraphrasing comes in, which then means you lose a lot of like the personality of individual drivers and like the driver leading the machine in a certain direction versus the machine dictating what a driver does.
Amen, Casey Stoner.
That's such a compliment.
I think last week it was the loudest voices that were pissed. And this week it truly was everybody's fucking pissed off.
Whole house mad.
Whole house mad. Max
Angry.
Max has gotten to the point in his stages of grief where he is getting silly goofy with it.
Yeah. Never let it be said that my goat won't get silly goofy with it.
No. King of Yes and.
Right.
He said that in order to save money, he's got a really great new simulator.
Yeah.
Which is to play Mario Kart on his Nintendo Switch.
Say that.
And say that.
Say that.
And I've played the new Mario Kart on the new Nintendo Switch. It's fun. It's a good time.
Listen, I'm sure you're having more fun doing that
than Max Verstappen is driving
in F1.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear what Carlos had to say about it?
Please tell me what Carlos, the Waldorf to Alex Albon Statler.
I mean, I was also going to say the co-director
of the GPDA.
Yeah.
Fucking smeg.
It gets me every time. So he's already had some not great comments in the past, but...
Wait, before we get to this, did I tell you that in the Williams podcast, what is it, like Torque Talk or whatever? I don't know. They asked like, what's one must-watch F1 race? And Alex said Montreal 2011.
And what happened in Montreal 2011?
It was the longest F1 race on record because it was rain delayed for like 5 hours. He's a bitch.
I love him so much.
He is such a bitch.
My wife's a bitch and I adore her.
My wife is a bitch and I love her so much. Anyways, continue with Carlos.
So Carlos has already had some negative comments. He's been pretty outspoken on all of this. But allegedly, during Shanghai's GP, there's screenshots showing that F1's like world feed and other like graphic additions to coverage were deliberately tampered with to mask the drops in speed to recharge batteries.
Tampering in F1?
Crazy. So Carlos says that this is proof that F1 knows this isn't working, knows that like this doesn't work for fans.
Well, yes.
He then continued to say, when you look at what they're doing with graphics, they're trying to do their best to sell something that I think we all know is not the right formula for F1.
And that's an indictment of a formula sport.
Yeah.
Formula One, we're like Formula Wrong.
Damn.
Bars.
Dial it back. Take a breather. Category 5 woman moment. God. I do think it's valuable that one of the directors of the GPDA is saying something like this. I think if George were to say something similar, it just would come off really weird because he's winning right now. So why would he say anything?
And also, many things can be said about George Russell.
I would not call him a great director.
I would not call him a union man.
No. Like, by definition, he isn't.
No.
Speaking of Carlos and Williams, this is the first season that in a long time, that we have more than 10 teams. So every weekend, there's supposed to be 22 cars on track.
Yes.
How many weekends this season have there been 22 cars on track?
0.
Right.
How many weekends has there been 20 cars, the limit of last year, on track?
0. Also, like, how many weekends have all 22 cars started the GP?
0.
Right. And that's on reliability issues that comes with a new reg cycle. I'm not mad about it. I do think it's hilarious.
I think it's so funny.
I think it's so funny.
Especially, how many times have all McLaren drivers started a race this year?
0 times.
0 times.
0 times.
That makes me the most happy. How many times has Oscar Piastri raced in Formula One this year?
0 times. It's so funny.
It's so funny.
My kink is karma.
Karma's a bitch.
And I love her.
And I love her.
Anyways, we are now getting back to all the DNFs and DNSs from this weekend.
Wait, don't we have to talk about the sprint first?
But I don't care about the sprint.
I know. Okay. I just want to say this. This is about the sprint. The difference between the F1 headline and the Reuters headline. I know it's pronounced Reuters. It's an inside joke.
We have fun with Reuters on this podcast.
The F1 headline is Russell wins thrilling China sprint from Leclerc and Hamilton.
I'm sorry, what?
Reuters is F1 leader Russell wins Shanghai sprint from Mercedes.
And now we know why Reuters is an actual legitimate news source.
Yep.
I love when like Reuters and like BBC and like these kind of outlets cover sport because it's so, Wozja too. They cover sport because it's so like unemotional.
There's no joy.
There's no joy, no nuance, no details, no context. It's great.
They said we will be sticking to AP style, period.
Right. I was waiting for the punctuation at the end of the sentence.
There you go. So DNS, DNF. It's always fun when there's a DNS.
No, it keeps us on our toes with a DNS.
Last week, we didn't get a DNS.
We technically got a DNF with Oscar, but I think you could qualify it as a DNS because he didn't start the Grand Prix.
But he started the race preparations, the dummy grid, as Julian called it this week.
God, he calls things a lot, doesn't he?
He's so British, derogatory.
Listen, I'm not here to dunk on Julian Palmer because he is an F1 driver and I never have been. But it is so funny when they get Julian and DC in a room together and they're like, oh my God, what do you guys think as ex-drivers? And Julian's like, I never won anything. DC, what do you think?
And he's real for that.
One of the only moments that he is.
He's like, you beat Schumacher, what's up with you?
No, I think that is a sentence Julian has said like 20 times. And I would too.
I would too.
Also, if I were DC and I beat Schumacher once, I don't think I'd let anyone ever forget it.
If I were DC and Michael Schumacher came storming across a rainy paddock to kill me, I also would not let anyone forget it.
I think I would introduce myself. I'd say, hey, I'm DC. One time,
Michael Schumacher tried to kill me.
and I beat him on track.
But those were separate incidents.
Separate incident. Yeah. So we had a double McLaren, did not start.
Sexiest sentence. I thought it couldn't get better than double McLaren DNF, and it did.
I still maintain that there's nothing sexier than a double McLaren disqualification.
You're right, because it's like they had hope and squashed it.
When you try so hard, and in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Sexy.
Aston Martin also double DNF. Is that right?
I have a song for Aston Martin.
What's your song?
She's a hand eater.
Yeah. Fernando got out of the car and was like, couldn't feel my hands.
She's a hand eater.
You know that one YouTube video from the era of like Charlie bit my finger?
Yeah, classic YouTube.
Yeah. The llamas. And one of them's like, Carl, what happened? And Carl the llama's like, my tummy was making the rumblies only hands could satisfy.
Carl, that kills people.
Carl, he's dead.
Aston Martin bit my finger for real, though.
And then we also had Alexander Albon didn't start. Gabby
Terrible.
didn't start. And then Max DNF'd.
Max said, I'm going to retire from the sport.
Yeah. Listen, I'm scared, guys. I'm scared. I'm nervous.
You keep saying it enough, and then they become true, which is a big concern.
I'm scared.
What would you do, hypothetically, if Marc Marquez and Max Verstappen retired at the same time?
Keep my goddamn wife's name out of your mouth.
Also, Sidney Crosby could very logistically happen in that period as well.
I think I would just die. What do you want from me? Like, what do you want from me?
This is my psychological warfare against Zoe.
I think I would have to become a Ferrari fan. Like, unfortunately, that's the only option.
You'd be a full-time Pecco fan.
Never. Never.
No, you'd be Bez.
Let me state now for the record, you would never catch me like that. It would be Bez.
It's okay. They're not even going to give him I go to retirement. Evgeny Malkin. They're always like, yeah, he's a legend and he's playing like he's 26 still at age 40. But who knows if we'll sign him?
It's so fucking annoying. I'm so sick of it.
I'm sick of it.
Respect that old man.
I can't even talk about it.
You brought it up. Oh my God.
We have to move on. Okay, so the race.
Okay, yeah. So basically, what happened in Melbourne happened again. I will say, I was reading somewhere that the current regs are going to be better for some tracks, worse for others. And I was like, don't love that F1's regulations are basically the Aprilia from 2025.
Yeah.
That's really unsettling.
Don't like that.
And Shanghai is one of the weekends that was supposed to be a little bit better for these sets of regs. And it was, as a fan who doesn't like the regulations, looking at Shanghai versus Melbourne, like, I think did seem surface level better. It's still all the same fucking problems.
That's what hit home, is that even though it was still shiny and a lot of movement, it was still the same problems.
There was one overtake that Charles did on Lewis, and I feel like I'm dunking a lot on Julian today, but it's his own damn fault. Charles did it on braking instead of like the overtake or boost button, and it wasn't because of Lewis's like battery recharge. It was just a classic
overtake. Sexy.
And you know what Julian called it?
What?
Old school.
Julian, I was on your side until now.
You were on his side for energy yo-yo?
No. No. Oh, Julian.
And I just was kind of like, where's that? Everything that happened between Charles and Lewis and George, I was like, I'm bored. I'm bored and it's soulless and I have nothing to say.
Yeah. And that's the end of the podcast.
Listen, I always have things to say.
Other things that happened, there's beef this weekend.
A lot of beef all the time. Checo was apparently, has always been beefing with right? That continued a little bit. And
Again.
then also just kind of was ass this weekend.
Ford found a kitchen.
Great for my brand, if I'm
Great
being
for
totally
my
honest.
Crash King predictions when he crashed into his teammate.
Right. As if Cadillac hasn't been like, hey, can we just like get the car through every GP this year?
Wouldn't it be nice?
Truly.
And then my beautiful baby boy Capybara.
He's had a rough interpersonal
Weekends.
Well, I just mean that this weekend he's been beefing.
He got promoted to the top team. And I will say this, he's getting a little big for his britches.
Well, so it started with him and Kimi.
Okay, so they clashed during the sprint. Kimi made a poor start, found himself stuck in the middle of the pack, attempting to quickly make up positions on the opening lap. He understeered and made contact with Isaac in turn 6, causing damage to the Red Bull. The stewards gave Kimi a 10-second penalty during the sprint, which, I just think that 10-second penalties are too long for sprints.
I agree. And then this did come up during the GP. I don't think they adequately respond to what is a huge loss of time or a huge loss in materials if the car is really badly damaged.
So then, after finishing 4th in sprint, Antonelli approached Hadjar and Park Fermi to apologize, but Hadjar, diva, still sitting in the cockpit of his Red Bull, simply refused the gesture.
Yeah.
Cold shoulder. Speaking later to Canal Plus, the Frenchman said, I don't understand why he's so overexcited when he has a rocket and will make his way back up anyway. Well, these things happen.
Okay, Conti.
Diva.
Kimi's 12, so...
Isaac's 13.
Right. Yes. It's so funny to me that he's like, ugh, children.
It's very much giving freshman in high school talking about an 8th grader.
Yes. Brother, you are a month apart.
Motorsport.com continues to say, by Sunday, however, after a good night's sleep for everyone involved, the situation appeared to have calmed down. Antonelli himself explained as much in the post-race press conference after securing his first ever Formula One Grand Prix victory. Asked whether the matter had been settled between the two following the incident, Kimi said, yeah, I did today in the driver's parade and it's all good. Of course, yesterday it was definitely my mistake because I ran into him. Of course, not on purpose, and I damaged his race, so I take responsibility. And after the race, of course, who are you, Max Verstappen?
Yeah.
I went to apologize. We know how Isaac is sometimes, especially in the heat of the moment. So I wasn't too bothered by it because today was all fine again.
So basically what motorsport.com is saying is that the children needed a nap and then they came back better.
Yeah.
Love it. Hadar also had issues with Ollie.
The children are fighting.
Ollie and Isak were battling during the GP and Isak spun, kind of running into the inside of Ollie.
Ollie had to take avoidant action.
He had to do an Ollie, if you will.
He really zoomed out of there. He went wide.
And so he ran super wide, lost a couple places, and he goes, I was so lucky to avoid that. I mean, I'm lucky to be standing here. Which he's right, but it's like...
He was like, fuck, he almost killed me. Oh, shoot, I meant to say damn.
Yeah. He called it a
12.
monster shunt.
He's 12 and a half.
Yeah.
And this also promoted Franco Colapinto in this series of events, which I think is also very funny.
No, truly, Franco was like epic highs and lows of Shanghai in so many ways.
Okay, so I want to finish up by saying, fuck you, Toto Wolff, kill yourself.
Ooh, okay, go on.
I can't stand this fuck ass, he's still our driver bullshit.
About
with Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, God.
Bro, you didn't want to give your winningest driver of all time a 2-year contract and an ambassadorship. And so he took his pretty little behind to Ferrari for $110 million, got everything you guys weren't offering, and cemented his legacy as a driver with the 3 most winningest teams in F1 history.
Yeah.
So for you to be emotional and being 3 Mercedes drivers were on the podium today, he's still our driver. Bro, shut the fuck up. You fumbled the bag. You fumbled the Lewis Hamilton bag. You don't get to say he's still our driver. He's not.
I also categorically don't believe that that's an emotional moment for Toto.
Oh, not at all. I do believe that it's emotional for him vis-a-vis the child he kidnapped.
Yes. I mean, I think the emotion he feels is vindication.
Vindication. I don't think he is genuinely emotional about Lewis Hamilton getting a podium because you know what? When Lewis won the Chinese Sprint last year, mum's the word from Mr. Wolff.
Nothing.
Crickets, even.
Dust. So, also, if I were Kimi and George, I'd be like, what?
Especially Kimi.
We're here. I think it's a really interesting question of I think short term Toto wins this.
Oh yeah, sure.
Especially now with Kimi doing well and George doing well and the car being really great. I think short term Toto has quote unquote made the right investment. But long term, I agree with you. When you look at winningest champions and you look at winningest teams and you look at different eras, it's Lewis. Lewis is going to be the person in the history books not Toto. And I think Toto forgets that.
They have also lost the brand ambassador for F1 globally, being associated with their team. And also the only driver of theirs that was willing to be a team ambassador. Nico Rosberg doesn't do shit for your team. He doesn't do any brand ambassador events. He's still a world champion and you treat him like he's dust on this earth.
No, it's crazy because when Red Bull dropped Daniel, that was a big part of the overall conversation, is that like Daniel's not really a Red Bull representative anymore. He's more of a Ford representative. And I think that speaks like a lot about how he feels about the team and the company. And it's only really been in the last month or so that he's publicly kind of been more of a Red Bull like adjacent character. And while that's sad and I think very indicative of like the dying relationship there, that's not a problem for Red Bull because Red Bull has so many ambassadors.
They have a glut of ambassadors.
Mercedes, I don't think has any.
No, they had Valtteri and they lost Valtteri.
They don't give a fuck about Nico.
They can't do anything with Michael.
No.
And that's it. That's all their drivers.
And Nikki died.
And Nikki died. Also, if Nikki Hayden knew that you were still claiming Lewis as a Mercedes driver after fumbling him so hard.
Do you mean Lauda?
Who did I say?
Hayden.
If
I'm sure Nikki Hayden also would have an opinion.
Yeah, he certainly would. If Nikki knew that you were still calling Lewis Hamilton a Mercedes driver after fumbling the bag so globally and publicly and embarrassingly.
And after Lewis goes to Ferrari.
And after Lewis goes to Ferrari.
Yeah.
That shitbox team. Nikki has never had a good night's sleep in his grave once. He's been rolling since day one. Let the man rest.
Let the man rest. I think that is interesting. And I think to split hairs, I don't think Mercedes fumbled any of it. I think it was all intentional.
Oh.
I don't think they were ever willing to re-sign Lewis.
I agree. I agree with you on that. I think it's a external perception of fumbling. And now you've made Ferrari woke.
I don't think anyone could ever do that.
No.
Anyways, big day for Italy, I guess.
And then in like 5 years, he's going to lose Kimi to Ferrari.
Well, yes, of course they will.
What was it all for?
The second that Kimi's contract is up, Ferrari's going to be all over him.
He's going to replace Lewis there too.
It's going to be less than 5 years.
The minute Lewis says, okay, I'm done, it's
Kimi or no one.
It's Kimi or no one.
Then they can also bring Valentino back within the house of Ferrari.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Because he almost drove for them.
Can we talk about F1 Academy real quick?
Yes.
F1 Academy kicked off this weekend.
Very big news.
It was incredible. First of all, speaking of Red Bull, in qualifying, we had two of the best results for Red Bull drivers. We had Alicia Pawlowski in pole position and Rafaela Ferreira P4, I believe she ended up. And then in the reverse grid, we had Nina Gaidman for Alpine win the first race. And then in the second race, we had Emma Favenmeyer for Audi. So very exciting weekend. They go racing again in Jeddah. Well, nope, probably Montreal.
I feel like we do need to mention really quickly that F1 the movie did win an Oscar.
In sound design?
Yes.
Sure.
Just in sound. And I want to crib a joke directly from my friend Emma.
Please, steal that.
Copying and pasting. Maybe F1 the movie exists and should be in record books as an Oscar winner, just so we all can go back and remember what real F1 cars should sound like. Because the sound now is bad. The sound now is migraine. The sound is wine.
Mosquito.
A horde of bees.
True. Swarm.
So like if that's what F1 the movie is for, I guess that's fine.
Yeah. Okay. We will be back next week to do our Suzuka predictions. We've got a week off.
Thank God.
So that brings us to the grid as ... which for the initiated is a moment in our podcast where we categorize a handful of riders and drivers from across the great wide world of motorsport. It's a person, place, thing, concept, idea, and in honor of Zoe's very special relationship with the universe and her fortune-telling abilities, we will be doing the grid as methods of telling fortunes.
Divination, if you will.
If you will. All right, would you like to go first?
I would like to go first. This one is a low-hanging fruit.
Mhm.
Marco Bezzecchi is astrology. He is
Mhm.
the Scorpion. This is just how it is. He's made the Scorpion his entire personality because he's a Scorpio. Is what I'm trying to say.
Least surprising thing of all time.
Yeah, I think every MotoGP champion who has not changed their number to 1 is into numerology. They don't know that they are, but they are.
100%, 100%, 100%.
And to that end, Jorge Martin, actually like the most granola out of all of them, does not think about the future, does not think divining is a real thing, thinks astrology is weird. Like he is truly just like, I'm not into it. I will also say that I think Luca Marini would be really good at like water scrying. Like I think he's like really good at that whole idea of just like letting your mind be quiet and like seeing
what comes in.
Yeah.
It's those big blue eyes.
Yeah. I have a bonus. Very early on in our friendship, we went on a journey of discovery and discovered that Daniel Ricciardo almost exclusively drinks tea.
Yes, this is true.
And so he reads tea leaves.
100%. He is a big tea drinker.
Yes.
Loves a peppermint tea. Loves a peppermint tea.
Yes, this is what we discovered.
Okay, my turn. Kimi Antonelli is a paper fortune teller.
Yeah.
And to that end, Isaac Hajar is MASH, and Ollie Behrman is when you say the alphabet and twist the apple.
Like breaks apart on the first letter of the name of your soulmate.
Correct.
Right. We've all done this.
Of course, at lunchtime. And then I was going to say this is a retired driver. Julian Palmer, who we talked about quite a bit, is palm reading.
Yeah.
Low-hanging fruit, but I'm going to grab it.
I do be grabbing low-hanging fruit.
I do be grabbing low-hanging fruit. I also think Max Verstappen is when you stare into the ashes of a fire.
Oh, what is that called?
I don't know.
Oh, I have another one.
Okay.
For some reason, I do think Valentino Rossi is Haruspex.
What is that?
Basically, you take a dead animal and you look at its guts and then you can divine the future.
Sure.
And I think that's how he figured out how to avoid arm pump. That's my guess.
I think that Fernando Alonso is dowsing or divining sticks.
Because he needs to hold it in his hands.
Yeah. And it's also like the most oldest basic form, I think.
And it's like kind of true. Like a dowsing stick works.
Yeah.
Fuck off. You're from further south than I am.
You're from deeper Appalachia than I am.
I mean, sure.
Who up divining they rod?
I hate you.
Also, remember when F1 didn't have any thunder and lightning protocol in place despite racing in like Interlagos? And then when they went to Miami last year, they were like, oh my God, thunder and lightning. Oh no.
I do remember that, actually, yes.
Apparently, there is something called brontomancy, which is divining through thunder.
So F1 is not doing that.
Exactly.
I could do this all day.
I could do this all day too.
I'm on the Wikipedia page, and one of these options is a crawling baby. So that's Toto and Kimi.
Yes. What does the crawling baby do?
It just says the crawling baby : by a baby's crawling.
Also, Marc Marquez.
In 2013, the baby did crawl.
and Valentino Rossi saw his future.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Fernando Alonso's runic divination.
Yeah, because it's ancient.
Ancient. Just kidding. He's metascopy, which is reading the lines on a subject's forehead.
Just needs a mirror.
This is really fun.
Deonomancy, by delivery, especially by the randomly generated words found on Whole Foods grocery bags.
That's Lewis Hamilton.
He's got a brand partnership with them. Oh, actually, I think Marc Marquez is Drearomancy, which is you tell the future by dripping blood. Because he loves to show off when he gets a little injury.
He loves a little injury.
I have 2 stitches on the bottom of my chin from the pebbles.
I have a little scratch. Don't look at my dick.
Aston Martin is electromancy.
Yeah, of course.
Like, of course.
I guess that brings us to the end of the podcast. Come hang out with us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, and then make sure to like, share, rate, review, subscribe to, engage with, comment on any and all of the above to help the podcast grow. We really appreciate it. And let's keep chatting soon.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.